Welcome back to ESA Summer Online. We are raising money for Alzheimer Fonden. Links to donate can be found below the stream. We would also like to thank Kaspersky, Twitch, and ViewSonic for sponsoring this event. Now it's time for Crab Milk Mikey with Viewtiful Joe. Take it away.
Hey everyone, this is Mickey. Having seen the Alice Manus Returns speedrun just now, we kind of decided, you know what, we have to up the ante. Henceforth, this extravagant getup right now, befitting of a game called Viewtiful Joe. And before I hand over the reins to Team Area 64, a quick mention is we're going to be playing on kids difficulty, because that is ultimately more stylish than the hardest difficulty, which is, say, Ultra V rated. And that'll be it on my end. So we'll start the countdown, and you know, once I say go, and from that point onwards, like, I won't really be saying anything, because you'll see why. So without further ado, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go for it.
And I think that's where I step in. Hello everybody, Team Air 64, I go by T-Man. Make it a little simpler, because my name is ridiculous. So we're playing Viewtiful Joe on Kids Mode. I'll go into some of the reasons as to why Kids Mode is chosen, as Mickey has pointed out. To start off, we're gonna dive right in. So dodging in this game, the way it works, an enemy goes high, an enemy goes low, you dodge higher, you dodge low. Enemy becomes dizzy, and you can do a little bit of damage to him when they're dizzy, and you can knock them out pretty quickly. So Mickey's gonna try to go ahead and bait these guys in the damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Mickey's main movement in this is going to be uppercut sweep canceling, and it looks ridiculous, but it is actually faster than running normally. I have no idea why it works the way it does, but I'm not complaining for the sake of a speed run. The beginning of this game is pretty straightforward. They're knocking out some basic enemies, nothing spectacular, until Mickey gets his hands on his first power. So we go against Captain Blue here, and he's going to do 2, 2, 3, 2 for punching and kicking. Knocks him out and gets his hands on his first power called Slow. The way Slow works, on the GameCube controller, you hold the left trigger, slows the game down. You dodge an attack, the enemy becomes dizzy. You punch him or kick him while in slow, and they get launched. So it's a good way to get some pretty decent damage in and launch them across the screen. And for the first mini-boss here, we have Joker. Joker's kind of annoying, a little bit luck-based, but it is what it is. Mickey takes him out pretty quickly and focuses on slots, which are going to be, I would say, the most luck-dependent factor in this run. In this case, he's going to get the V's so he can get the key to move on, and some coins so he can buy some extra upgrades and weapons down the line. Next section, pretty straightforward. There's a Bianca Billy that comes out, reflect the bullet, dizzy him, punch and a kick will knock him right out, and here we'll try to do that. He tries to do that. That was perfect. Very quick way to knock out those Bianchis. Gets the stack of books on the switch and moving forward. This next section involves hitting a lever on the right-hand side of the screen. Mickey's got to deal with these verties, these green guys here, who are a major pain. Unfortunate luck in that case. Sometimes the verties drop a missile right next to the lever. You could punch it across the screen and hit it for free, but in that case, Mickey did the jump and damage boosting instead. Worked out pretty well. And from here on out, it's moving forward and hoping that verties decide to not ruin your day. And, oh, they're trying. They're trying. And here we'll just use the rest of the chandeliers, knock out these ballerinas, the Bianchi Primas, I believe they're called. Very nice. And pick up the key and move forward. For this next section, Mickey needs an audio cue, so I'll drop my talking for this and see if he can land a specific one cycle. Okay, no biggie, that's okay, so we'll go with backup strategies here. So the one cycle, you can knock out the Apache so Black Thunder is what it's called. You can knock it out in 3 bullets if you time your slow just right. You can get 3 bullets in quick succession. Mickey got 2 in that case. The bullet spawned a little bit further up than he needed to. Not a big deal, though. No biggie. Go for the backup strategy and call it a day. So, going into the first power-up, Mickey's going to pick up sliding, and sliding is going to be the number one way, to move around, along with boomerangs. And once he gets his hand on his second power, you'll see sliding a lot more. That's where this game gets a little ridiculous. So we use slow to puzzle solve here. I'm going to throw that in air quotes. And we're going to go ahead and Donkey Kong right over these barrels here. I guess Mario over the barrels. If you're playing Donkey Kong, I don't know. And he's going to slide all the way to the right-hand side for the second Captain Blue fight. Captain Blue kick. And now the game starts. This is why Kids Mode is a go-to. So, the second power is Mach Speed. You hold right trigger, and you get these after images that pop up, and you can attack boxes in the back of the screen, or you can attack enemies that, well, actually you're fighting at the same time as well. The key thing with Kids Mode is that on Kids Mode, the rate at which you use VFX, if you look at the top of the screen, you'll see that VFX bar is cut in half. So you get the opportunity to let loose and do the actual, like, you know, the speed in the word speedrun. And Mach Speed and sliding makes this pretty interesting. And what we'll do here as a function of Mach Speed, when you kick an item long enough, you light yourself on fire, you get a fire aura, so he's using that to light these candles up, and we'll move into Charles III, first boss. First boss of the game is Charles III, and he could be a little tricky if you let him get tricky. So he's got a few attacks. He can throw these pink rings at you. He can throw these rocks that fall from the ceiling. And he can also fly across the screen in quick succession, and he's dead. So Charles III's finished, and you can take him out immediately with boomerangs. So that's a thing. Boomerangs are silly in this game. Very, very utterly broken silly. They're very silly. And you'll see a lot of that in this, too. Chapter 2. So at the start of Chapter 2, we're going to Mach Speed our way over to a platform. Use the Mach Speed to raise the platform. Make your way to the Bianca Billies and knock them right out. And we'll go on to the third Captain Blue fight. Very nice. And we'll pick up Zoom. So Zoom has a variety of properties here. So there's Red Hot 100 when you zoom in and you start throwing a flurry of punches. You have the Zoom Kick, which is, I call the Circle of Life, personally, because it has ridiculous properties to it, which I don't really have time to go into. We have the Zoom Jump and the Zoom Stomp. And for that quick puzzle there, what you end up doing is using the Zoom Kick. You hit the two switches on the side, opens the door, yada, yada, yada. And otherwise, you're just flying through with Mach Speed. And that's what this is. Memorization and Mach. We use slow to get that lightning, power up that generator, and fly into the next Joker fight. So we have some mini slots here. The expectation, I believe, is to use Zoom. You really don't need it. And also, the punching animation out of Zoom is a little bit, I'd say, cleaner to use than the Zoom punch. Mickey knocks you right out. Mini slots, the adorable slots. Picking up the money and the key. And we're moving on. So there are 8 enemies here. I believe 4 Bianchis and 4 Verdes. Mickey, you'll take them out with little concern, really. Just got to worry about the cars more than anything. So, in this next section, there are 5 Bianchis, and there are 2 Rosettas, these pink gals coming up. Mickey's going to move in the very specific position to get them to spawn over the left-hand side, and then he's going to move in a position afterwards, the hood on the left-hand side van if he can. It looked like... Got it, actually. Cool. Which repositions the bus to ideally cross this gap. And he got it. Very nice. So the reason he needs the bus to cross is that there are 40 Shocking Pink and 40 Boomerangs underneath. So Shocking Pink are going to be the bomb that he just threw out right there. to take out this first Apache with a trick called Fast Fuse. I'll discuss that in a moment. And then the 40 boomerangs will cover, again, his inventory for the rest of the game. So this trick he's using right now is called Fast Fuse. Just kind of made it up back when it was found years back. But the way it works is typically when you take a bomb with Joe, he'll kick it in front of him, and there's a set timer to it. So it's about 2 to 3 seconds, give or take. Rather than depend on the timer for the bomb to go off, you can actually set it off yourself by holding Mach speed in the middle of the bomb throwing animation. And what that does is that the bomb will explode at your feet rather than waiting for the fuse. In other words, it gives you a lot of control over explosive damage in this game, and that's a big deal, especially with bosses like that Apache or some later one, Terriers or Gelby, that come up a bit later on. This entire section is one of my personal favorite areas in the game. There's just a lot of movement. This is called the bathtub skip. Again, you know, it's very literally named. When you hold slow down at the very top of your jump, you can actually jump right over the bathtub and skip the section where you need a platform to bypass it. So it's a neat trick. It saves about, I believe, 15, 20 seconds, give or take. And Mickey will just knock these guys out, open the elevator, and move forward. Very nice. Use a bit of Fast Fuse here. And where it comes in handy, too, is you typically need to wait for the bombs the game gives you and then uppercut them to knock out those walls. But with Fast Fuse, you don't necessarily need to do that. And one other subtle trick here is Mickey is intentionally kicking above the walls that can be destroyed, because if you kick the walls that can be destroyed directly, you'll recoil from it. If you kick above it, though, it actually flips right through the wall. So it gives you the opportunity to buffer a Fast Fuse really quickly. Taking out standard enemies, nothing spectacular here. Mickey's killing it.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Almost, actually. If we can get to Chapter 3, then I should be good to go. So,
Okay.
I'll just scroll. There's a little bit more to explain, and then I can give you the heads up.
Sure.
So, Joker, knock him out one more time, knock out the slots. You got V's, you got coins to pick up. Once again, I believe this is the last set of coins that hold need in the game. Everything else you should be good to go on. We'll break the bathtub. We'll dive in. And we're moving on to Hulk. Hulk Davidson. So the way Hulk works, I talked briefly about boomerangs being broken. I wasn't kidding. Boomerangs are, in fact, quite broken. And they can infinitely stunlock the right boss if you use them correctly. And by using them correctly, I mean spam buffering the punch button. So in this case, using a shocking pink to open up this door, or wall, excuse me, Davidson is in fact in the house. And you can spam boomerangs, and the strategy, I promise you, is the same on Ultra V rated as it is on Kids mode. It's just as ridiculous. And that's it. That's Hulk Davidson. So you're good to go. Nice job, Mickey. Good stuff. Hey. There we go. Chapter 3.1 is an auto scroller. So I apologize for the interruption on the donations there, but that's this is the perfect time to do so. Mickey will try to pick up a VFX charger if he has the money. He needs 30,000, and he doesn't quite have it, but that's okay. He can get it next round. So auto scroller coming up. If you want to do the donations, rock and roll.
Thank you very much. We do have a $5 donation by RevNL saying, "Viewtiful Joe, $5 hype train. Choo choo." Who's with me? Yeah, who's with that? Because this donation also goes towards our Devil May Cry 5 N% incentive for the Faust head cutscene, which is only $20 short of being met. And we have about an hour 40-ish until that run. So if you want to see that, get your donations in. Other than that, we are ESA Summer Online and we are raising money for Alzheimerfonden. Alzheimerfonden is the Swedish national fundraising organization focusing on Alzheimer's disease and other dementia-related diseases. Alzheimer's is a progressive disease where dementia symptoms can gradually worsen over several years. In its early stages, memory loss is mild, but with late-stage Alzheimer's, individuals lose the ability to carry on a conversation and respond to their environment. Your money helps further research into the field to hopefully one day find a cure for this disease.
All good?
Yeah, I can go on if you want.
Oh, by all means, feel free. I
Okay,
this
wonderful.
goes for a bit, so.
Wonderful, because we also do have some wonderful prizes for everyone donating. We do have a ViewSonic Elite monitor with a total minimum donation over the duration of the marathon of $30. So if you already donated $10, it's just another $20 to get into this prize. These monitors are really, really good. Those are the ones that ESA also uses for on-site events. So we do have really good quality there. And we also have a Nintendo Switch with a minimum donation of $50 over this marathon, sponsored to us by Kaspersky. So if you don't own a Switch and you want to be in the run for getting one, it's $50.
Very nice. Perfect timing, because we're diving right into 3-2. So, underwater section. Mickey just picked up the VFX charger, excuse me, as you saw. So what that does is doubles the rate at which you get VFX back, which is pretty handy for some later tricks. First part of this section is pretty straightforward, just knocking out some enemies and waiting for a specific controller to spawn. Like so. And this controller, well, controls a platform in the back that Mickey needs to use to get on a switch to move into the next section. He's not going to use Mach Speed here because if he does, the platform will rise, but he will use Slow to get it on the button. And this next section is just knocking out some Bianchis, nothing spectacular. And moving right along. So for this next section, there are two, I guess, we'll say, guards to take out. And Mickey's going to position himself intentionally to throw that second boomerang, and didn't quite circle back, but that's okay. If you position your boomerang correctly, you can take out 2 for 1. And another Joker fight. And this time we will do slots, and we're looking for the V's so we can get the key card to lower the water level. Like so. And we're good to go. And now Mickey's got to make his way back to where he picked up that controller, and that will wrap up the level. And we'll dive into the Chapter 3 boss, Mr. Grand Bruce. Grand Bruce is relatively straightforward. Some neat little movement that goes along with this. I think it's easier just to see it for yourself, and I can explain afterwards. Beautiful. Couple boomerangs for damage, and that's one of the bosses where you're not going to use boomerangs for consistent stun. It's a little bit faster to go after him with the Red Hot 100 punches. One thing of note is Mickey's doing a trick that was actually used in the past couple years regarding Red Hot 100 canceling. So the way it works is when you throw out a punch Red Hot 100, you typically get a couple different animations for punches. If, as you're throwing out a punch, if the first one connects, you can cancel it by crouching, and then you could throw out another punch with the same speed and power. So basically you can cancel it over and over and over again. So you get the power of slow zoom Red Hot 100, but you get a much faster speed, and it allows you to stack a lot of damage very quickly. And what you just saw there was Mickey skipping pretty much the entirety of Chapter 4. So there's a break in this level where you typically have to invert the sub, revert it, turn off the torpedo launcher, yada, 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 not necessarily in that order, but you could skip it by simply going to the right. Now for another Joe. Another Joe is a bit on the luck-based side. You can't really control all of his movement. You can control some of it by standing above a specific spot with an electric floor. So we're Mary, my apologies, Mickey. Where Mickey is standing right now, he can keep Joe on this side, but that's about the extent of his control. He has to otherwise track him down with Mach speed movement. And this upcoming section is fast-paced. I think it'll speak for itself. Very nice. The sub-escape. Nice job. Hey! Hey, there we go. That's what I like to see. There we go. Hey. Okay. So, for this next section, Mickey's going to go ahead and buy Red Hot Kick and Mach 2. And that should be just about it for the rest of the game in regards to upgrades. Chapter 5 could be a bit hectic. It's a bit of a reskin of Chapter 2 with lava effects added to it. Lava does double damage. Most enemies do, well, most enemies will do 1 damage on kids mode and adults. Lava does double damage. And for these tanks, so this is where you're using that slow, dizzy punch and all that to try to get damage. So if you take an enemy that's dizzy and you do a slow punch on them, and then you make sure that the enemy connects with an object with slow zoom, the damage is, it stacks massive damage against a Harrier, a tank, whatever the case may be. And that was an excellent Harrier fight, by the way. So 2 great fast fuses. Really good stuff from Mickey. Using that zoom stomp to take care of those switches, and in this case, Mickey's got to go ahead, Red Hot Kick and damage boost. And for this next section, he's got to light himself on fire with Shocking Pink with Mach speed, and he's got a little bit of time to get through this section. So if you have the fire aura on you, you can't get hurt, and that was beautiful. Beautiful. It was great. It was good. Typically, you need a bomb from Joker's slot machine to set that off, to launch this lava and the slots into the next section. You could just simply do it with a Shocking Pink, though. And in this case, unfortunately, one of the more subtle aspects of this run when it comes to luck, so the slots are a very obvious-looking portion of luck, but this section is notorious for dealing with poor spawn. So if Cromarties don't spawn in a good fashion, so those black ninja dudes right there, if they don't spawn in a fashion that's agreeable with you, you could lose a lot of time very quickly, unfortunately. And take out the Harrier here in the back with a Shocking Pink. Get the first set of damage in as possible. And it should turn around and Mickey should be able to hop right on again. Like so. Another Shocking Pink. And we're good. He's got one more tank. Gonna use these Bianchis and slow zoom damage here. Like so. And he'll use the bullet as a backup strategy because his Bianchis weren't dizzy or in a good position. And now we'll do the same thing with this Harrier. He'll use slow zoom and use an uppercut most likely to get him into position. Like so. See that massive damage? And that was... looks like it was a little off there. Oh, wow. The Harrier actually stopped a lot sooner than I thought. Okay. It's okay. Backup strategies. All good. Do that red hot 100 canceling again, and the Harrier falls. Hop on the train here, and we're going into 5-2. Very nice. If you want to do the donation deal for this next section, so 5-2 is a train section. Mickey's going to move as quickly as he can to hop onto a switch at the end. I'd say it speaks for itself. So
I think that was my cue.
Yes.
Wonderful. We do have a $5 donation by Cheese Soda Punch saying choo choo. So here's another one on a train. Also, we do have some more donation incentives that your donations can go towards. Like I said, we do have the Devil May Cry 5 incentive for the Faustet cutscene. After that, we also have a no movement space, a no movement space bash crystal incentive for Crash Bash, where just like those Luigi wins by doing absolutely nothing videos from Mario Party, in Crash Bash, there's also a possibility in one of the games that the AI will lose without the player doing anything. So if you want to see that, we do need a total of $350. We are currently at $165, so we do need a bit more money there. If you want to see that, go for it.
I believe. This fight is Alistair, so this is the rival of the game. Also has some interesting dialogue if you play as Dante in this game. So in the PS2 version, if you're not familiar, you can play as Dante from Devil May Cry. Very nice fight, by the way. Okay. So Chapter 6. Chapter 6 is a good old-fashioned boss rush. So it'll be Charles, Hulk Davidson, Grand Bruce, and another Joe. Charles and Bruce will, Charles and Davidson will simply be boomerang spam, like so. So there's Charles, and then Hulk Davidson will be boomerang stun as well. And Grand Bruce will be a little different than the Chapter 3 fight, but generally about the same. And then another Joe, the key is to just keep pressure on him. And that's really about it. And then I would say, at the end of this chapter, there's Fire Leo, who I think is probably one of the most notorious bosses in this game if you've played it. Very nice. Looking good. Mickey, if you can hear me, if you could show the immediate cutscene right before the Fire Leo fight starts, to show why you have your mask. It's a good indication of it. Not the full cutscene, the mini boss prep cutscene. Oh yeah, now we're talking. That's what the mask is for. Let's go. Let's go. Ooh. Ooh, baby. That was a fight right there. That was as good as it gets. Very nice. So Mickey needs some sound there. They do give visual cues on when Fire Leo goes high or low. Mickey and myself typically use sound instead. It's a little easier to focus with the sound. But that was a one cycle with Leo. So using the Red Hot 100 kick to get some massive damage in with your fire aura, and then following up with the boomerang along with Zoom Stomp and Red Hot 100 stacks all that damage. You can knock him out. Boom. Easy peasy. So these 3 buttons here, you need to get to a particular height, and then you could zoom, stomp, and slow, and it sets off all 10 lights for each switch. Pretty straightforward. A little bit of platforming here. We got 2 tanks, and with the spawn, Mickey's going to use the first bullet to stun the Cromartie in the back, the second bullet to attack the tank, and the third bullet. There we go. Excuse me, I believe that's the second bullet there. Sorry, first bullet, then Cromartie, and then a backup strategy with that that following bullet. Excuse me. There's 2. Boom. There we go. Very nice. Moving into 2 Metal Leos. He's got to go to the bottom of this pit first. Oop, took a hit from the fire there. No biggie. So he's going to break his shield with 2 red hot kick, slow zoom. That'll knock out his shield, followed by 3 slow zoom, red hot 100, and that takes out a Metal Leo on kids mode at least. A little bit more effort on Ultra, but really isn't too much different. For perspective. Pretty good 7-1. Looking good. Very nice. 7-2. We got 1 long rush here. Mickey's going to go ahead and gun for some infinite VFX that's hidden in the background. He's going to use Mach Speed to get the after images to show up first. There it is, that red juice right there. So now he's got unlimited VFX for a short period of time. He's going to use Fast Fuse to take out these 2 Geldy, and then go into a Zoom Stomp to ideally stun the Rosettas, like so. Very nice. And then deal with these 3 Cromarties. And at the very end of this, he's simply going to hold Mach Speed, get the top speed that he can from the platform, and then deal with Joker one last time. We got 1 more set of slots, an oddball set. They're actually slow this time, so you got to use Mach Speed to find the Vs. Very nice. Pick up that key and move it on. Okay, so this section here, we got 9 ships in the background that Mickey's got to destroy. What he's going to do is use Fast Fuse, and, excuse me, not Fast Fuse, he's going to use Shocking Pink and the after images from Mach Speed to not only attack the ships, but also time it to attack the missile that comes out in this center point. So ideally, what he's doing is using the after images to take out the ship on the right, most of the ship on the left, and then using the missile to finish off the ship on the left. Straightforward, right? Bottom line is, Mach Speed after images are pretty cool. And there goes all 9. Very nice. Take out another Metal Leo here. We got a second one. And we got a third one with a key. Very nice. We have 4 sections in this tower. Mickey's on a bit of a time limit if he runs out of time. He's got to deal with decreasing health. The gas will start doing damage to him. And I don't think Mickey's going to let that happen. Very nice. Alright, first one down. This next section is going to take out a couple of quick Cromarties, and then he's going to jump onto the left-hand platform and up to spawn the, I believe they're black leaders, if I'm not mistaken, is what they're called in this game. And what he'll do is slow zoom punch and slow zoom kick. Knock those guys out, and then he'll focus on the Cromarties. Where's that last one? Ah, there you are. Playing hide and seek. So Mickey dodged intentionally there. If you start swinging away at them before they throw out their first punch, they get this ridiculously high defense, even on kids mode. So it's a little faster just to let them swing at you and then go for the punching. They lose that ridiculous resistance. Little bit of a tricky setup with those Gelby there. That's okay. Using fast fuse though as he can for the first set, and then he's going to use a standard shocking pink for the second set. Wait for the explosion, and beautiful. Look at that damage. All right, so he's got 2 more Metal Leos to take out. And he's going to put him into a single line so they can't attack him on both sides. Dunzo. And the tower's done. We have 2 more fights. We have King Blue and then young Captain Blue. And King Blue is normally... He's normally a very... Oh, God. He has a lot of damage that he could take. He could take quite the beating. So, fortunately, what you can do, you could spam boomerangs and lock him into place where he just holds his hands on his hips, like that. You can see right now. And he just sits there, I don't know, nodding like he's winning, but he's actually stun locked, so he doesn't realize that he's in trouble. But that's okay, because the spike could be a pain, especially if you do it on Ultra V rated as well. Same strategy for perspective. Bring it on. And the time is coming up very shortly. We got young Captain Blue. Hopefully he cooperates. And coming up when Captain Blue goes, ow, 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 ow. 3, 2, 1, time. Very nice, Mickey. That's a clap right there. That's a clap. You can't see me, but I'm doing finger guns right back at you. Bam. Hey. Great job, man.
Yep, thanks. that was pretty exhausting, especially at this this time of day. But yeah, just to close things off before handing the reins back to ESA staff.
Can I throw in a quick donation?
Yeah, sure, by all means, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful, because we have a $50 donation by Bacon Riffic.
Nice.
Without any comment, but this one closed out our Fausthead cutscene donation incentive.
Nice.
So that one's being met, and we are also a little bit higher on the no movement space bash crystal. So we only need $150 more for that one, and we still have quite some time for that. So keep your donations coming to see that.
Cool beans. But yeah, like I was only gonna throw
Other
out
than that,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Mickey, wonderful run.
Yep.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, thank you.
If you have anything more to say before we head over to the ads?
Oh yeah, sorry, I was kind of muted on Discord and didn't realize it. But yeah, anyways, like I just wanted to throw out some quick shout-outs. So first one for Owen Treholt. He was one of the first, if not the originator for this game's speedrun. Secondly, definitely want to thank Kamiya and Team Viewtiful / Clover for making an excellent game that definitely stands the test of time. And then, lastly, also want to shout out Matthew Mitosis. He made a very excellent 3-hour-long video expose for this game, and he really gets it. So, I think that about does it on my end. Like, I don't know if Timo wants to do stuff, but by all means, go ahead.
Yeah, really quickly, if you're interested in speedrunning this game, because I know all of you are, and you're really stoked to dive right in, right? Or in all seriousness, I highly recommend playing this game, just period, because it's outstanding. But for the speedrunning standpoint, there's a tutorial available for kids mode on all levels, and a little bit dated, I think it goes back to 2015, but Mickey has a great video for 2019, 2020 tech that's come in over time. And if you're interested in the current kids mode run or Ultra V rated run, I know I mentioned Ultra V rated a few times, but it's there to show you the differences between the runs more than anything. You can check out speedrun.com. Otherwise, thanks for having me too. Appreciate it. Once again, great job, Mickey. Killed it.
Yep.
Knocked it right out of the park.
I think at the end of this, we're almost at the end of the credits. Like, this message will also very much ring true for what we need these days. So, yeah, like I said,
Right.
it's a game that very much aged very well. Excuse me.
Right on. Oh, wait a minute. And come on.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Ha.
So, yeah, I'll be signing off. And thanks, ESA, for allowing this game to have its moment as well. And best of luck with the fundraiser, obviously, too.
Right on, folks. Have a good one.